My NetGalley ratio is not good. The recommended percentage on NetGalley is to have an 80%. My current ratio is 0. But the good news is I only have 18 titles that I have requested. So this week I thought it would be fun to try and get through some of my NetGalley backlists. Priority number 1 is going to be Vow of Eternal Night because it is part of the Camp NetGalley shelf, and I have until the 13th to get it finished and reviewed. So I'm about 5 chapters into Vow of Eternal Night, and I know it is back in the day when I really read a lot of vampire stories. I feel like none of them ever really followed the vampire cliche rules, like not being able to step in light, not being able to cross running water, the holy water thing, the garlic, the crucifix, not being able to be in the sun. I feel like they acknowledged those cliches, but always proved them false. And in this one, I feel like they're just shoving all these cliches onto the page just to really stamp in the fact that the main male character is a vampire. And I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of think it's a little annoying. Supposedly Clara is in love with Yan, who's her fiance before she meets the prince, and but Yan is really annoying. Also, his mannerisms are really, they come off. His mannerisms really rub me the wrong way, and they come off wrong. And it could be because I obviously know that he's not supposed to be the main male character because this is Beauty and the Beast retelling, so I'm wondering if he's going to be taking the role of Gaston. But so far I haven't seen a whole lot of Beauty and the Beast echoing, besides I wouldn't even know it was supposed to be Beauty and the Beast retelling unless I had read the synopsis, which is what I obviously read the synopsis, so I know.
So I finished reading Vow of Eternal Night, and I did have a problem with the in-your-face vampire cliches that they had going. But once I got over that, I found that I really did enjoy the story quite a bit. But they did continue, of course, with the vampire cliches through the whole thing, which is fine. And honestly, I wouldn't have known that it was a Beauty and the Beast retelling if they hadn't told me in the synopsis. But I do kind of see where the inspiration part came from. So I did wind up enjoying it for the most part once I got past that. And I even did wind up really liking the two main characters. I will say, however, Clara's dad was a very selfish man, and it was a little sad in the end that they never really reconciled, I guess, because in the original Beauty and the Beast, well, at least all the other Beauty and the Beast tellings, Belle has always been very close with her father, and that's been a very important relationship. But in this one, you don't really get that, though you can tell that she does love her father at the end. Another book that I was reading, I was listening to at the same time as this one was Sea of Charms, which I didn't do any updates for, but I did really enjoy that one as well. It was the third book in the, I think it's the Spell Shop or whatever. Oh my god, there's a book. It was the third book in the Spell Shops series. talking about before. It's really cute, cozy story, like cozy fantasy. Marin, I think, has been my favorite story so far. She's the main character, and she owns a boat, and she has a sea serpent friend. There is like subplots of romance in each of these stories. I can't remember if there was in the first one or not, but you like they are very, very small, like subplots. Like, do not go into them looking for romance. It is like there is like fantasy and magic in them. Like she has a flying cat, and there's a sea serpent that goes on trips with her. But otherwise, it's a really, really cute story, and I did enjoy listening to it, especially because I have little ears around, so sometimes I don't want to listen in my headphones. So it's nice to have stories that are not always where I have to be concerned about whether or not my daughter hears it or not. So that one was a good one to read with her, I think.
Well, great.
So yesterday I finished listening to A Cursed Son, and I completely forgot to do any check-ins, but I did really enjoy it. I can't believe I waited so long to read that one. Actually, I waited so long to read it that I didn't actually have the ARC, so I had to borrow it from the library anymore. And I listened to the audio. And it was really good, actually. They said it was enemies to lovers, but I don't think it was true enemies to lovers, because the MMC, you could tell he really cared about the FMC, like basically from the beginning. Um, a lot of it was like in her head. There was a lot of like banter, I guess you could call it. There's a mind link that was really fascinating, and a lot of miscommunication. So it was very frustrating, but in a good way. By the end of the first book, I was very ready to read the next two books, and I borrowed those both off the library, and I plan to read those next. In her dreams, he envelops her in love. In real life, he imprisons her in ice. Assassin, liar, impersonator, dreamer. As royal decoy trained to replace the Crystal Princess, even in political marriage, Astra's life is not her own. With a duty like that, how can she dream about love? And yet, she knows she has a kindred soul. She can feel his presence every night, holding her in his arms, surrounding her with his warmth. But ice-cold reality crashes in when Astra's carriage is attacked by the Crystal Court's disgraced prince. Banished for heinous crimes and armed with powerful relics, he's a wielder of mighty magic and can even infiltrate minds. It turns out that he is the man in her dreams, and this is about to get very, very awkward. That was actually the first time I read the synopsis. I might have read it when I originally requested it, but honestly, I don't remember doing that. So that was very good. Thanks for hanging out with me. We got a good amount read this week from my NetGalley list. Let me know in the comments what you're currently reading. I might want to